Hi guys, Irina here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, let's talk about the Google Pixel 8a. I got this phone in porcelain and let's take a look at this quick unboxing. I must say, this finish looks so much better in person. I like that the back of this phone has this very subtle shimmer. It's barely noticeable, but it looks nice. I like that the back, the metal frame, and the camera module are matte. Well, I think in most cases I prefer matte finish over glossy one. So in terms of design, I would give this phone 10 out of 10. This phone feels very good in my hand. It has a good weight to it. It's pretty lightweight, but it doesn't feel cheap. Here on the right side we have the power button and the volume button. The mic is on top. The SIM card slot is on the left side. Speakers, USB-C port. Feels like a regular Pixel, nothing new in this regard. Let's talk about the display. We get a 6.1-inch OLED display with a peak brightness of 2000 nits on this phone. Of course, it's not as bright as the Pixel 8 Pro, but still, this display is pretty good in terms of brightness. It has a 120Hz refresh rate, so it feels very smooth. Speaking of the display features, we have the base calibration options, just like on the Pixel 8 Pro, the night light, the dark theme, you get the extra dim feature. Well, this phone has pretty much everything you get on the Pixel 8 Pro in terms of display features. If you ask me, the bezels are not that bad in my opinion. I mean, this one at the bottom is quite thick, yeah, but when you're using this phone on a daily basis, you don't really pay attention to it. Well, obviously, this is not the best display on the Pixel 8a. For example, when the screen is white and you're going through your settings, it has this rainbow across the screen. It's especially noticeable from an angle, and this is something I would expect to see on an LCD display, but honestly, I was a little surprised that it's so noticeable on this OLED display. And of course, there's no such a thing on, say, the Pixel 8 Pro. It's important to note that you won't notice anything like that when there are pictures or videos on the screen, or if you have a dark mode on, so I don't think it's a big deal when it comes to using this phone. Also, in my opinion, the overall colors look slightly worse on this phone than on my Pixel 8 Pro. The photos have a slight green tint on the Pixel 8a. It's not that noticeable, but you could notice that if you look at the same photos side by side. However, let's not forget that the Pixel 8a is supposed to be a more affordable phone, so that would be just weird if we had the best display on this phone. So yeah, this is not the best display, but then again, why would it be? Next, let's talk about the camera. We have a 64-megapixel main camera and a 13-megapixel ultra-wide camera. In case you're wondering, these are not the same cameras we get on the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro in terms of hardware, but we get the mighty Google software, so let's take a look at the photos and videos. Let's start with the photos and talk about the advantages of this camera setup. As you can see, you get really nice photos with the Pixel 8a. Well, it's not surprising, this is a Pixel after all. The shots are very crisp and vibrant when it comes to regular photos as well as the ultra-wide shots. Also, the colors look very natural, very close to the real colors. I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me, that's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me.
down. All around this empty town, I'm searching for the...
In the camera app, you get all the modes that you would get on the Pixel 8 Pro, except for the action pan and the macro mode. And this is when we're moving to the disadvantages of this camera setup. So the first one is the lack of the macro mode. I personally use the macro mode to scan a QR code, or if I want to take a quick shot of a phone number or some piece of information. I don't have any problems doing it with the Pixel 8a, even without a macro mode. The focus is very good here, even at close distance, so the lack of the macro mode is not a deal breaker. Unless you're a huge fan of macro photography, then that would be a bummer for you. The next disadvantage is the lack of the telephoto camera, and some people don't even use it, but I really miss the telephoto camera on this phone. In the camera app, you have quick access to the 2x zoom, and you can manually zoom in up to 8 times, but this is digital, not an optical zoom. So the picture quality on this phone will never be as good as on the Pixel 8 Pro, where you have a telephoto camera. And I personally love good quality zoomed photos, so for me this is a real disadvantage. The front camera is good. The selfies from a Pixel have always been some of my favorites. There is no autofocus on the selfie camera of the Pixel 8a, but still 9 times out of 10 the photos look very crisp, so no complaints here. When it comes to videos, you can shoot videos up to 4K 60 frames per second. The stabilization is pretty good on this phone, whether you're using the main camera or the ultra-wide camera. In the camera app, you get all the video modes except for the blur mode, which blurs out the background. Also, you don't get the video boost feature that improves the video quality, the HDR, and the 24 frames per second option, but we still get the speech enhancement, which is pretty cool. Oh, also, there's no audio zoom feature on the Pixel 8a, but if you ask me, I don't really care about these missing video features. You can take beautiful videos with this phone as is, and this is the most important thing. But the only thing that I truly miss on this phone when I take videos is, once again, the lack of the telephoto camera. I really miss those beautiful 5x zoom videos I get with my Pixel 8 Pro. The videos from the front camera are pretty good, the stabilization is great, so no complaints in this department. Now let's talk about the battery. We get a slightly bigger battery on the Pixel 8a than on its predecessor, the Pixel 7a, and when it comes to battery life, usually it lasts me longer than 1 day with moderate use, so I would say the battery life on this phone is quite average. Usually I can use this phone for about 26 hours, give or take. But of course, you could drain this phone much faster with heavy use if you're taking a lot of videos or playing games all day. Of course, we have wireless charging on this phone, but there's no battery share feature on the Pixel 8a, so you can charge your other devices wirelessly with this phone. And speaking of charging, it takes about 2 hours to charge this phone from 0% to 100 with this 30-watt charger. But if you have this old 18-watt power adapter, it will also take 2 hours to charge your phone. So yeah, there's no point in buying a new 30-watt power adapter if you already have this old one, but hope to charge your phone faster. Next, let's talk about safety features. We get the face and the fingerprint unlock. Both work well, can't complain. The thing I'm really happy about is that you can sign in to bank or health apps with the face unlock. I absolutely love this feature on my Pixel 8 Pro, and that's really cool that we get it on the Pixel 8a as well. Moving on to the speakers. We get stereo speakers on the Pixel 8a, and speaking of the sound quality, they're not as good as the speakers on my Pixel 8 Pro. They're not as loud. Also, the sound is richer on the Pixel 8 Pro. For example, when I listen to music on the Pixel 8a, the sound gets a little rumbly when it's set to the max volume, and this thing never happens on the Pixel 8 Pro. However, I think most people use earphones when they're listening to music, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. The sound quality on the Pixel 8a is good enough to watch movies, use social media, make calls, and so on. When it comes to sound features, of course, there's my favorite Now Playing feature that identifies songs playing around you, the adaptive sound feature that improves the sound quality if there is some noise around you that could interfere with your listening, the clear calling feature that reduces the background noise during your calls. So basically you get pretty much all the sound features on the Pixel 8a that you would get on the 8 Pro, except for the spatial audio, but I cannot say I really miss it on this phone. The Pixel 8a runs on the Google Tensor G3, which is the latest chip from Google at the moment. It works pretty good on my Pixel 8 Pro, and I can say the same thing about the Pixel 8a. The phone feels snappy and fast, not a single glitch so far. When it comes to using social media apps on the Pixel 8a, so far I haven't encountered any issues. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything works just fine. The Instagram stories look and sound good. By the way, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Speaking of other features on the Pixel 8a, I was pleasantly surprised to see that you get the AI wallpaper. For some reason, I was sure they wouldn't include this feature on this phone, but it's here! By the way, this cute robots in the jungle wallpaper was generated here by the AI. Some time ago, I switched from Google Assistant to Gemini. There's a whole world of new features, they're very useful, but maybe I'll make a dedicated video about it. What do you think, guys? The starting price for the Pixel 8a is $499, and if you ask me, overall I've had a pretty good experience with this phone, except for some things I've already mentioned in this video. It's a pretty good phone for its price, and speaking of prices, you probably already know that sometimes Google puts some phones on sale. For example, up until recently you could pay just $50 more and get the Pixel 8, which offers a few more features, so just be on the lookout for new sales, but at the same time keep in mind that the difference between the Pixel 8 and 8a is not that dramatic, so if you're looking for a new phone in this price range, the Pixel 8a seems to be a very good option. That's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware.